everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. Welcome to this week's Championship review show. We have made it to international break number 3, and if you think it was ridiculous before this, check out the fixtures after this. Pretty much straight through now, and I'm not joking, till the end of March. So if any Championship side wins 2 FA Cup games, they are literally on the go now, right through basically to the end of the season. No more breaks, no more strategic planning. And you'd think, hopefully, everyone's got their ducks in a row and they know what they're doing now, going through right until that new year transfer window, where we may still see 1 or 2 more managers going. Let's see. Stoke this week get the new manager bound. 6 out of the top 7 win, and a few derby games getting scheduled on the same weekend. Forest, Bristol City and Millwall coming out on top of those. But coming out on top of the league still is West Brom. Hull 0, West Brom 1. Jake Livermore with the only goal. Hull were in really good form, but West Brom are now turning the screw a little bit. Let's see if this run can go another 4 to 6 games, and most people will have them as favourites after that point. Short corner on 28. Pereira squares it for yet another assist for him. Livermore gets out of his feet and smashes it in from that sweet spot through the crowd on the edge of the box. Since they lost to Leeds, West Brom 14 points in 6, and even including that defeat, 6 wins in 9, meaning at game 16 they are the only 2 points per game team we have. I know Leeds and Preston, 2 points per game would be 32. West Brom have 33. Leeds and Preston just 1 behind that 32 on 31. So you've got a couple of other teams close and could make it. Will we have a team streak away? Will we have a 2-horse race for the title? Will we have a 3-horse race like we did for much of last season? Only really those couple of 2-2 draws for West Brom with Barnsley and Charlton a blot on their copybook. If they'd got even 1 win in those 2, they would be nicely clear now. But 2 clean sheets in a row since then. Robson Kanu's got the shirt up front at the moment. Austin and Zahor both around and on the bench. And Ahmed Higazi, we mentioned, they miss him. He's fit, but he cannot displace Semi Ajayi and Carl Bartley at the back there. Slaven Bilic at the moment sticking with the people that got him there. But look, it's a long slog, and as I've mentioned, it is bang bang, 3-game week, 1 week rest, 3-game week, ridiculous Christmas period, FA Cup stuff. It's crazy now. Every club's going to need every member of every squad. Hull have been on a super run, hadn't they, with that 3-game win streak. Again, Bowen goes down the middle, but they don't get the result this time. However, if you told me at game 16 Hull were in the top half, which they are in 12th spot, I would be giving a big thumbs up to Grant McCann. We're all looking at it and kind of thinking, well, whilst Bowen and Grzycki are there, things will be okay. It's what do they do after the sale, and what do they do with the money when it comes in, and what do the alarms do with the money when it comes in. Hull 12th, West Brom top. Game number 2, Preston do it again. Are they the real deal? Let's talk about that some more. Preston 3, Huddersfield 1, and just at home they just blow teams away, don't they? Stockley heads in after Gallagher's free kick hits the post on 4. Brown is arriving at the back post to volley in Barkhausen's cross. Gallagher scores yet another penalty. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments how many penalties Preston have had this season. That will whack your XG up, won't it? Bakuna, brilliant goal back for Huddersfield. He's inside his own half, rides a tackle, goes past his man, runs into the space. They back off, and as they do, he toe pokes it into the corner. Superb goal by Bakuna. Shame they were 3-0 down at the point he did it. So Preston, absolutely brilliant. Stockley keeps his place, and I think Alex Neil likes the big battering ram up the top there. He's got enough pace and trickiness with Barkhausen and Maguire. He's got that guy in the 10 position that's pretty much a second striker. I think he likes having that guy there, and I think we might see him for a fair while now. Hey, could be wrong about that. Ledson alongside Gallagher in central midfield without Pearson. Brown's in the 10 position with no Johnson there. This squad is good. It may not have as much star power, but every player who's not in the team can seemingly step in the team and do not too big a drop-off type job to, the other guy who was there the previous week. There seems to be a lot of ability in depth of similar, kind of strength to the general first team, if I haven't completely fudged that explanation. 3 straight wins for Preston, 4 wins in 6. 7 wins, 2 draws, no defeats at home. Really looking good, isn't it? No blip yet. A few teams will have those, but it's how you come back. Not many teams go the entire season without having a blip. Probably Newcastle and Reading, the only in the I guess that must be about 15 years now. So Huddersfield's brilliant run comes to an end. Danny Cowley, he lost his first 2, didn't he? But then it's been outstanding, 15 points from 7 games. So he wanted to get them winning. He wanted to get them out of the bottom 3 and upwardly mobile. He's done that. So they're going to be looking at now getting into mid-table. They're 19th as we go into this mad sprint up to the FA Cup and the new transfer window and all that brings. Game number 3, Leeds 2, Blackburn 1. Ayling gets taken down for a pen. Bamford, cool as you like, slides it in. 5 goals in 16 now for Bamford, in the team that creates probably the most chances, them and Brentford, in the league. I know Leeds fans have their feelings on whether that's enough goal-wise, but does he bring more? Well, he certainly brings more for this next goal because he gets a brilliant assist, takes it down out of the sky and lays it off to Harrison, who Leeds fans also query, but he's in great form. He sticks it in off the post. 4 assists, 2 goals in the past 6 games for Harrison. I know he's Marmite, but those numbers don't lie, do they? Particularly over the last 6 games. Williams heads in Downing's corner for his third season just before half-time to get it back to 1 goal, but Leeds go on to win. Back-to-back wins for them going into the internationals. 11 points in 5 games. Brilliant defensively, only conceded 2 in the last 5. The 4-1-4-1 was back. I wondered whether Bielsa, once he switches formation, sticks with it. No, it was just to cope with the injuries. But Cooper's got hurt again, so the international break comes at a good time. Then Dallas playing over at left back, keeping Douglas out of the team, interestingly there. Hernandez gets another 10 minutes. Costa keeps the start. He's going to want at least 1 or 2 of Forshaw, Shackleton and Ketia, definitely Cooper back. Remember, Leeds at full strength are a very different proposition than when they lost those key players. Remember that happening last season. So key. How many of them back before November 23rd? Blackburn, they had that turnaround victory, didn't they, over Sheffield Wednesday. Back to losing, so it is 1 win in 8. He's moved Downing further forward. Holtby and Travis maybe to try and shore up in midfield, but Leeds away was too much for them. Rovers 18th. They're hovering just above that bottom 6, but with Huddersfield making moves below them, could Blackburn be drawn in? They managed to never quite get sucked down that low last season, but could they be spending some time battling in the bottom 6 this season? Game 4, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Swansea 2, a draw at Hillsborough. Horrible flat by Westwood for the opener. Ayew, who's having a good season, pops that one in. Wednesday, they've been scoring late, they've been conceding late. Forestieri, he gets a goal on 81. Lee follows up the first half, I think from reach. He gets pushed out and he squares it. Forestieri puts it home. And then they think they've got the winner. Fox half volleys in on 91. But again, they get done by a late goal, Sheffield Wednesday. Westwood, he makes a great save initially, but then he's flapping again from this corner. It's a really good corner from Grimes in swinging into that end. But he needs to do better with that, I'm afraid, keeper of his quality. Wilmot heads that one in 94 minutes. Sickener for Sheffield Wednesday. So Swansea, they do it late on. Again, they had a late winner at Leeds earlier in the season. Last week at Wigan, they got a late winner. Now, the latest goal of the season for them gets them a point at Hillsborough. Ayew continuing down the middle. Baston on the bench. 4 in 7 for AU, so I guess he's staying there. Does he give them a bit more than Baston? Obviously, Steve Cooper thinks so. Wilmot's come in and got 2 goals in 3 starts from centre-half, so we'll see whether he keeps his place after the international. Swansea, 7 points in 3 after I said they were trending downwards. They've pushed themselves back solidly into that top 4 in the playoff spots. Good response from Swansea recently. Wednesday, my God, late equaliser at Cardiff, 2 points gone there. 2 late goals at Blackburn, 2 points gone there. They were winning going into 87 minutes. And again, they take the lead on 91 here. That's 6 points gone in very recent weeks. Very inexact science, I know, but you add those 6 points on and they're bang up there really on 31 with Preston and Leeds. However, in the real world, where I'm afraid we have to live, they are 8th place just outside the playoffs. Hopefully that doesn't become a thing that gets into their heads. Game number 5, Forest 1, Derby 0. I was there. Check out my detailed match review. Grabham with the only goal, intercepts. Bogle's pass, not Bielik's, Bogle's. God, I got some stick for getting that wrong. Sometimes when you get a goal like that out of the blue at a game, you're scribbling down your notes, you just look up and all of a sudden Grabham's clear. They did replay on the screen and they close up on Bielik's face afterwards. I put 2 and 2 together and didn't realise it was Bogle. So my apologies for those people who are still giving me rubbish about that. Forest, my first look, they look very structured, very solid. They followed back-to-back defeats with back-to-back wins. I don't see them blitzing, blowing anyone away, but they are going to be hard to beat. They look very, very well organised. They've got a game in hand as well, which they're not going to play until January. So they're going to be one of many teams who are probably going to want to just get out of the FA Cup as quickly as they can. But we'll see how they play that. They would be right in there with the automatic chasers if they won that. And you're not going to want cup replays and fixture congestions, extra 3 game weeks you don't need in January. It does start to open out there when those cup games come in. So we'll see how that pans out. They are in 5th. Derby still look a bit aimless, structureless up the top end. I think the back 6 look good. The full-backs, Lowe and Bogle, progressive. When Bielik was back there with Clark, the centre-halves could play. It was Clark and Davis, and Bielik and Shinnie. I like that whole back 7, but they still haven't quite managed. How do you configure Holmes and Waghorn, Marriott, Martin, etc. up the top there? They're not using Dowell. Feels like they've got a few players who'd like to play just up front in a front 2, but he wants more from them. So I don't think he's solved that yet. And obviously, Mr. Rooney is now only about 8 weeks away, isn't he? They have undignified 6-game winning streak, 6-game streak, of win at home, lose away, win at home, lose away, win at home, lose away. So Derby, the new Wigan, brilliant at home, terrible away. We'll see. Derby's 16th spot down there. Game number 6 was today. Cardiff 0, Bristol City 1. Josh Brownhill with the only goal, 25-yarder. It's the way it goes. Cardiff hit the bar with 2 long ranges and Bristol City put their chance in. Excellent win for them. They've only lost 2 games this season, and with this cursed rubbish, the only 2 Bristol City games I've been to are the 2 that they've lost. There you go. Too many draws before the defeat at Luton, but since then 8 points in 4, and they should have beat Barnsley last week, shouldn't they? I was at that game. They drew. There you go, I'm talking rubbish. I've been to 3 Bristol City games. They haven't won any of them, but there you go. They should have won that one, shouldn't they? Late equaliser from Woodrow in that one. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes, like when I was talking about Sheffield Wednesday. Some big games coming up, though, for the Robins. They have got 5th place Forest, then they've got leaders West Brom, they've got inform Huddersfield, and 1 below them, Fulham. Gonna be tricky. They like going toe-to-toe with the big teams, though. Bristol City, don't they? They are in 6th. Troubling times for Cardiff, though. That win over Birmingham was their only win in 6 games. Ward is suspended. Glatzel injured, so Bogle comes in. Warnock had no intention of playing Bogle at the start of the season. Now he's starting him. Back to a 4-2-3-1 to kind of help out up there. Tomlin comes back in at number 10. No, Morrison still at the back. I think international break comes at the right time. He's going to want to get some players back. Obviously, he's going to have to wait for Ward, who's going to be up for a couple more games, suspended. Also, though, Warnock was very unhappy in the last international break with players, I think Bakuna, who got back really, really late after doing a lot of air miles. So, tough time for Warnock at the moment. Cardiff 14th in the bottom half, 7 points off the playoffs already. Interesting. Game 7, Birmingham 0, Fulham 1. Mitrovic, well, who else? Christie, where did he come from on the overlap? Hangs up the cross here. Camp, I've heard a few Blues fans questioning Camp. He drops it. Mitro sticks the rebound in. So, second win for Fulham in 6 games. No Kenny, no Arton, no Brian. You've got Lemarchand at left back and both the Reeds, Bobby and Harrison in midfield. Mitrovic is doing the business, 12 in 16. If you run that out, that's 3 every 4 games. So that's 34.5 for the season if he plays 46. I hear you cry though, he's not going to because he got his 5th yellow card. So he'll miss the next game. But if he's fit all season, he's going to get 30 goals, isn't he, Mitro? Fulham in 7th, just hovering around the edge of the playoffs. Still flattering to deceive a little bit, I think most would agree. Blues will either win or they'll lose. Very binary, aren't they? Their rather excellent home run takes a hit, though. It was 5 wins in 6 before today. Little tweak of shape, looked more like a 4-2-3-1 on the reports I saw. Marabti playing more off Jutkovic in a 10. New signing Bella makes his debut. We'll see if they go back to 4-4-2, and he's a straight partner up there for Jutkovic. Blues in 13th, just out of the top half. Game number 8, Wigan 0, Brentford 3. What's happened to Wigan's home record? And Buemo scores after 5. Norgard free from the corner. His header is saved, and then he cuts it back from Buemo to put in. Norgard's grown into the season. Very good when I saw him recently. QPR Brentford. Makocho, this is a great goal. Outstanding build-up this. First time goal kick, controlled in the air. Boom, boom, across. Draw them in that side. Switch to play that side. De Silva goes down the left-hand side. If only this cross had not touched the Wigan player, you'd be talking about a real super goal because it's half cleared. But then Makocho knocks the follow-up in. A microcosm there of Brentford's good football playing out from the back. Midfielders up to support. Midfielders rotating, etc., etc. Great goal. Kipre, off he goes. Second yellow on Watkins. De Silva then bends one in the top corner. Lovely performance by him. He's really played himself into that team. Remember, they got rid of McLeod and McEachran and really regenerated their centre midfield, and Jensen is still there, but De Silva ahead of him at the moment. Shame at the end, Jean-Vier gets a red card, smashes into Gerhardt, and that's a straight red, so goodbye for 3 games for him. So Brentford bounced back in fine fashion, actually. I said it was typical Brentford last week, losing at home to Huddersfield, but remember it's 3 straight wins before that, so you now have 4 wins in 5, which you bounce back with a win, always makes that L not look so bad. So they're 3rd in the 6-game form table, only behind Preston and West Brom, up to 9th now, so it's kind of mobilising. It feels like over the past few seasons, Brentford have never got themselves into a position with 10 or 15 games to go where they are 8th or 9th and actually ready to strike. They've always had some kind of floundery 10 games without a win or something crazy. So I'd love to see them up there and stay there, but they've fooled me a few too many times for me to get carried away with that. No Ben Rama today, did it without him. Valencia played down the left. And remember I was whining about them not scoring enough goals for their talent. They're really getting the goals now. 3 goals in 5 of their last 8 games, really getting prolific up top. Wigan, they've based themselves on very good home form. Well, that's 2 home defeats in a row. And given they were fairly unlucky at Bristol City and at Derby, 3 defeats in 4 games and 3 away games in the next 4. Luton and Stoke coming up in those 2 games. Looking at where the table is at the moment, you definitely don't want to be losing them. And if you're Wigan, you can really put a bit of a dent in down the bottom there. I don't know if it's going to finish with these guys in the bottom six. We always have the feeling that Stoke are going to get out of it, but need to start looking at these games, and especially when you're down the bottom there, 3 points don't come along very often. Every 6 or 7 games often for teams down there. So to have them against a direct rival is pretty important. And you start to worry about Wigan if that home record does go. They are 20th. Game number 9, QPR 2, Borough 2. Not very helpful for either team. Sumbalonga diving header from Howson's cross. Very Ian Wright-esque, I thought, that one. Wells immediately equalises. Manning chair. Wells has got 9 in all competitions for Rangers. Very good return from him. Howson with an own goal. I think it was Hall with the header, and looked like Randolph saved it and Howson was too close to him and it just bounces in off him. Sumbalonga, lovely goal. Horrible ball back. I think it might have even been Wells. I'm not sure. Someone smartened me up in the comments there. Horrible back pass. I'm not having the best weekend with identifying people playing bad balls back across. Sumbalonga, lovely little dink over the top there. So 2-2, Rangers down to 10th. They've really tailed off this batch of games. 2 points from their last 4, and they've had 3 home games in that run and not won any of them. Amos has gone back into the midfield, so maybe Warburton is looking at this sheer amount of goals they're conceding and trying to stiffen up a bit in there. It's great to see Eze and Chair and Bright Samuel and Hugel and Wells, maybe Kane or Rangel getting forward and Manning, but they are conceding a ton of goals, another 2 today. 30 goals conceded in 16 games for a team that's spent a fair proportion of the season up in the top 6, definitely top 8. Only Barnsley have conceded more. Borough, still no away win for them, and they led in this one. I've been critical of the finish, and I've been saying, I keep seeing clips and they miss a big chance and then they go on and lose the game. So good for them to see a Sumbalonga getting 2, because down in that bottom 6, bottom 8, you never get a 10, 15 goal scorer. Just doesn't seem to happen. Normally teams with that player will elevate them right out of there. We saw the effect Oliveira had on Reading last season, just going in there and having the focal point striker. 4 points in the last 9 though for Borough, so it's awful form for a long time. Until they get a win, those numbers are not going to change, are they? 22nd, and it's only the fact that Luton and Wigan have had bad runs that's really keeping Borough in the fight there. They could be entrenched in the bottom 3 at this moment. So interesting to see what transpires. There, game number 10, 3 to go. Stick with me. Millwall 2, Charlton 1. Hutchinson with the early goal. Williams swings the free kick in. He heads it in. Hutchinson. Lecco, another set play after Białkowski. No bias in this comment. Had made some good saves. Looking at the clips I saw. Sarr recycles from the corner. Lecco volleys that in, a bit messy. 91st minute. Deep corner from Wallace. So another contribution from him. And Matt Smith bangs the header in there. Charlton have not beaten Millwall since 1996. Incredible. Granted, a long time apart when Alan Kirbishley had Charlton at the top of the First Division as it was then, and the Premiership as it was then, not the Premier League and the Championship that we have now. So they were apart for a long time, but Millwall certainly seem to have the hoodoo over Charlton in these derby games, don't they? 5 points in the last 7 for Charlton. Real regression to the mean, I think. Now 3 defeats in 4. They drop down to 11th. Lecco starts off behind Bon. Are they missing the more seasoned operators, Williams and Taylor? Although Bon has got goals, hasn't he? Maybe just reaching their level, and as I've said before on here, if Charlton's level is the middle of the table, I'm sure their fans will be happy, and that's a good job by Lee Bowyer, especially when you look at Barnsley down the bottom and Luton pretty much just edging above the bottom there. So Millwall snatch it at the death. Set plays make the difference today. Bodvarsson starts up with Bradshaw, so a little bit of a tweak, a bit more Harris-esque. Let's just say Thompson goes out to the left. But 2 wins in 3 for Gary Rowett, so he's on 2 points per game, isn't he? 100% record to boot. Great start for Rowett. Game number 11 is Reading 3, Luton 0. Mark Bowen's going to get manager of the month, isn't he? Morrison heads in Swift's outswinging corner. Swift's been brilliant all season, hasn't he? Ejaria, it's another assist from Swift for this one, but Ejaria does all the work, to be fair. Assists can be a bit deceptive sometimes. Ejaria comes in off the left, curls that one lovely right-footed into the corner. McCleary makes it 3-0. Horrible mistake by Sheehan, caught in possession. McCleary runs that one in for his first goal since April 2017. Reading have got 10 points in 4 games under Mark Bone. I know it's worked out nicely. I know their hardest game at Forest got postponed, so they've had 3 and 4 at home. But they did beat Preston, who are outstanding. They did go away to QPR and go toe-to-toe. It's gone really well for Mark Bone. He's proved a lot of people wrong, including yours truly. Bulldog's been like a new signing since he's brought him back, and McCleary now contributing as well. Very good stuff for Reading. Luton, well, the alarm bells, they've been going for a few weeks now, haven't they? No Izzy Brown today. So McManaman gets the start. He scored against Forest, but 5 defeats in 6 for the Hatters. And I've said a lot of the times, Luton play to their potential. They attack, they're brave, and they lose by 1. Well, that's by 3 today. So you don't want to see that. They're sitting just above the relegation zone. And as I said, from Borough's point of view, they'll be pleased Luton and Wigan haven't been winning. From Luton's point of view, they'll be pleased that Borough haven't been winning below them, because they would be in the bottom 3 now. Finally, down the bottom, 23rd versus 24th, it was Barnsley to Stoke for mental goal by Sam Clucas. Lobs it in from pretty much halfway after Collins' poor clearance in the Barnsley goal. 2-0 on 30. Mowatt takes down McLean and Gregory sticks the penalty in. They score straight after half-time, so they get the right reply. Thomas splits Stoke's defence. Michael O'Neill want to have a look at that, because it's not the only time in this game it's going to happen. McGeehan puts it home. Joe Allen from the set play bounces for him, he swivels and puts it in for 3-1. Clucas, great goal, this one. Did Gregory lay it off for him, I think? And he bullets this one in with the left foot. They got a nice shot from behind it, completely straight, no curl, true shot right into the corner. Great goal. 82 though, Mowatt this time completely takes out the Stoke defence from sort of a deep line playmaker position. Good ball, but really looked like too easy for Thomas to chase through for 4-2. So certainly still a few defensive issues there. Stoke jump off the bottom straight away in Michael O'Neill's first game. Ryan Woods comes back. He always was a favourite of mine at Brentford. First league start since August. Stoke get 4 for the someone, Stoke fan will tell me in the comments how many games it's been since they've scored 4. Probably a lot. And here's the issue though, is that Michael O'Neill will now go off with Northern Ireland to play Holland and Germany in pretty much the 2 deciding qualifying games in that group, as to whether there's many more meaningful games as international boss. Certainly, if he gets some points from them, this could run and he could be managing both for a while. But good start, nonetheless. Barnsley, dismal run, isn't it? No wins, 6 points in the last 15 games. Do we get a new manager in the international break? Who knows? Still have a hunch about them being rivals with Nathan Jones. And Nathan Jones, the kind of character he is, will not shy away from going straight back into another job at that level. Adam Murray's still in the chair as we speak. So that is just about it. Your top scorers, Wells, Graben and Asumbalonga all in the top 10 and all scoring this week. So it's Woodrow and Asumbalonga on 6, Graben and Hugel on 7, Johnson and Wells moves up to 8, Bowen and Grant on 9, Watkins still on 10. And I didn't mention Mitrovic, he scored as well. He's now on 12. Pereira and a Swift both getting assists here. Swift got 2, so they're now tied with Eliasson, who incredibly isn't really even in the Bristol City team, and is top up there. They've all got 6 assists. Your key passers, top 10. I always find this a great resource for finding out which players make which teams tick. Listen to this. Kearney, Hernandez, Pereira, Bannon, Manning, Villalba now in there, Downing, Mowatt, Brown and Swift. You can see a lot of key midfield players for a lot of teams there. And your defences, it still leads. They are out in front there. Swansea conceded 16. Sheffield Wednesday 14. Brentford and Forest 13. I can understand that now, having seen Forest. And Leeds 9. Interesting, 3 of the teams in there have got good defences because they keep the ball so well, as in Leeds, Brentford and Swansea, so you can see less chances and therefore less goals. And Sheffield Wednesday and Nottingham Forest, you would say, are well-drilled teams who are actually good at defending. I think there's a difference between having a good defensive record and being good at defending, whereas you'd say Leeds, Brentford and Swansea, they're just good teams that keep the ball well, therefore they do less defending and concede less goals. I suppose that's still being good at defending, but you take my point in terms of Neil Warnock, head it, kick it, clear it, intercept it. You end up doing less of that than if you're Gary Monk team or a Sabri Lamouchi team. That should just about do us for this week's review. Hope you have enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications if you have not already. If you're here for the first time, send me a comment, say hello. So much Championship comment. We are going in content. I mean, not comment. We're going into the international break. So any ideas for videos would be greatly received here. Not sure exactly when the next thing we'll do will be out, but I'm sure something will come up. Someone will sign or hire or fire, or I'll come up with an idea and we'll get something out very, very soon. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom, and you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you very much for watching. Quick apology that this is not a live stream. I am busy tomorrow night, which is Monday, so I may well stick this up ready to go on Monday morning, or you never know, I may as well stick it up right now. We will see. Thanks for watching. Over now.